Hello and welcome to our lesson on radicals to exponential form, a more advanced look. First, let's talk a definition. A radical is an expression, so there's no equal sign. It can include a number or a variable too. A radical, sometimes called the root sign, and an index. And if you remember, the index is the teeny tiny number. The radicand is what we're going to focus on, the 64x cubed. That can be a radicand, and then of course you have your radical sign. A radical term can be written in exponential form. That's when the numbers or the variables, or both of them, become the base and the index becomes part of an exponent. Sounds kind of confusing, but we'll take a look. Just remember that you have a base, it's the big number, and your exponent is going to turn into a fraction. The radicand becomes the base, the big number. The index, that teeny tiny number, becomes the denominator of your new exponent. And the exponent to the radicand, the little 3 right here, is going to become the numerator of your brand new exponent. The radical sign disappears and it becomes a division sign for the exponential fraction. Let's take a look to see how that actually works. So, the radicand of 64 becomes the big base down here. The index of 2 became the denominator. The exponent of 3 became the numerator. And if you notice, that radical sign right here is gone, and it's now a division sign for your exponent. Let's try it on our own. We've got 104 to the 4th, and we're trying to find the square root. We're not going to do the actual math. I just want to show you how to take it from radical to an exponential. So first things first, you have a base of 108. The exponent right here becomes your numerator. Your index is not written, so it's assumed to be 2. Instead of a radical sign, we're going to have a division sign and then the number 2. We're not done because if you look, 4 over 2, we can reduce that. So your final answer would be the base of 108 squared. And that's how you would go from a radical form to an exponential form. Let's try another one. This has got a fraction on it, so your answer is still going to have a fraction as well. Let's do the numerator first. That's 1. You've got an exponent there. It's not written, so it's assumed to be the number 1. So that becomes your numerator. You've got an index of 3, so that's your denominator. Now 1 was in the numerator position, so we're going to keep it there. Now we have the number 54. And 54 does not have an exponent written either, so it's assumed to be 1. You still have the same index of 3. This would now be your answer in exponential form. To look at another one, we've got 24.5. It doesn't matter that it's a decimal, it still can be a base. You've got your exponent of 8, which becomes your numerator, and you have an index of 5, which becomes your denominator. And that's the exponential form for that. Here, we've got a fraction, so we're going to have an answer as a fraction. We're going to take 16. Since there's no exponent right here, it's assumed to be 1, so it becomes your numerator. And you do have an index of 4. That's all numerator in the original fraction, so it stays numerator in your answer. Now you've got a denominator of 64. Again, you have no exponent, so it's assumed to be 1. You've got an index of 4. And you have a negative sign sitting outside of all of it, so that negative sign needs to go back again for the final answer. This would be the converted exponential form. From there you could do solving and reducing, but right now I just want to show you how to go from radical to exponential form. Quick review, the radicand becomes the new base, the big number. The index, that teeny tiny number, becomes the denominator for the new base. The original exponent that's attached to the radicand becomes the numerator of the new exponent that's attached to the new base. So you've got the big number, the index, that teeny tiny number, becomes your denominator. And then the exponent that was originally there is your numerator. So BEI. The radical sign changes to a division sign for the new exponential fraction, and the radical sign is gone. And that's it for our lesson on radicals to exponential form, a more advanced look.